Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and Warlocks have took quite a big hit, especially if you were planning to play Affliction and Destruction, as the strongest Covenant has now gotten some nerfs. Blizzard is trying to further balance more Covenant abilities. For Warlocks, the Necrolord Decimating Bolt is getting a pretty big hit, primarily if you play the Drain build as Affliction, giving you only one single Drain to get the most value off. And for Destruction, it also kind of gives you a little bit less AoE if you play in Fire and Brimstone and you want to incinerate the world. The one Covenant that Blizzard decided to kind of cut back on some of the negative effects of, the side effects, is going to be the Fey Covenant, where now it'll do damage over time and also doing damage over time to nearby enemies. It does allow the Warlock to still do the Drain ability, but no longer takes away health, forcing you to drain health from enemies. So in this video, I'm going to be trying out the big Suck build, trying to see if I can pair it together with Affliction. We're going to try the big Suck, and the way I'm going to combine it is Soul Rot on a minute cooldown, target and 3 additional enemies, causing lots of damage to primary target, half damage to other targets for 8 seconds. During those 8 seconds, drain life causes you to also drain life from every enemy affected by Soul Rot. So of course we're going to be combining together with the talent of Inevitable Demise to make Soul Rot drain life stronger. I am also going to be running Dark Soul Misery. I feel like that'll be a better talent choice. I kind of want to go Creeping Death because you can get stacks of Inevitable Demise faster. So it's going to take me a little bit of a time to set up the big Suck though. So I do want to see just how much damage you can do. I really would love to play Creeping Death just because it makes so much sense in my head in terms of why you would want to play it. But I guess we'll just have to be a little bit patient in terms of trying to figure out like what setup we're going to go for. We also are in a random dungeon, so we're not going to be able to get crazy amount of damage in my opinion, just in terms of the amount of raw output we could do, just because everything dies so quickly. Very quickly, to be honest. So we kind of have to be very quick in terms of how we set up our damage, our burst, and everything. Let's go for a little bit of a... Let's actually go for the big drain, because we do have it available. How big is this going to be? Because we can just continue draining. We are also pairing this together with a legendary of Drain Life channels 100% faster and gets even more health. So we'll see just how much... Oh my god. We'll see how much healing we can do, because this was quite good burst just now. But it's going to take, you know, a little bit for Inevitable Demise to really truly stack up, which is why I really wanted to run Creeping Death. But I don't know how well that will work. Vile Taint. So we got even more enemies out here. Pop Agonies on them. We got to get Corruptions back and everything again. We're saving literally everything. Literally everything is getting saved for the boss. Okay, go. Go right now. I have literally everything. Please go. There we go. Alright, big haste so we can get all the dots up and running. Big drain. Big drain. And just drain some more. And drain some more. Drain some more while we have the big haste. Okay. Now we're out of cooldown. That was actually a lot of damage. And that should be the boss dead. And we got a ring? Hell yeah. So how do we do there? Well, of course, Malefic Rapture ended up being a lot of our damage. The actual Soul Rot, I feel like I should be using on cooldown more than I am. So let's try to be a bit more liberal with that ability. We'll see if that has a payoff for us, maybe. Like everything is going to get pulled to this boss right here, or mini boss. So we'll just do Drain immediately. Just to kind of show off. Like, we got the Lego, we might as well get the most value out of this. Drain as many enemies as we can. We got 4 almost full complete drains in that opener, which I think is pretty good. Which is maybe where the strength of this playstyle is going to be, is from kind of using this ability on cooldown and using Drain to hit as many enemies as possible, but not really stacking it up for a huge number. I mean, Inevitable Demise and how much I want it to work could be really good. I just don't know if it is going to be that good. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Big drain maybe? Wait, we stacking up UA still? Still stacking up UA. One more Shadow Bolt. Drain. I probably should have done it so much earlier though. That's definitely some lost potential. Although the burst we have is pretty good. Oh my god, Drain actually did a lot. Cool. What the hell? Whoa. What is this? Male Courier. Taking damage from a Gargon or Darkon increases your armor. Taking Frostfire Shadow damage grants you shield. Run speed by 3. What is this tier set? Yo, that looks cool. There's tier sets from greens. I've never seen that before. Wow. Is this like a mobility set or questing set out in Shadowlands? That sounds awesome. It doesn't look like my imp can actually do anything. Looks like he's kind of struggling here. And so is Darklair. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I definitely should report that next time I get a chance. Yeah, none of my pets actually did any damage. I feel like that would have been a really good burn. Rest in peace, though. Overall, it does look like Affliction definitely has some bite with this ability, as you can see the damage for yourself. I mean, it's quite ludicrous, especially if you can do this big drain, sucking the life out of the enemy in an AoE fashion. I mean, I feel like it might have a potential build. While fun for Affliction, it does primarily work well with Affliction because of the way you generate soul shards. If you play Affliction, you will notice that you'll generate soul shards mostly from using the ability of Agony. Just maintain this damage over time ability on a variety of enemies will generate soul shards passively. That means it gives you opportunity for quite a lot of free abilities in between of your rotation. Of course, you can hit the enemies with Shadow Bolt. That is the ability that you will want to maintain because it does not provide a debuff in this expansion. But if you do want to go for a big AoE drain life, as Affliction, you really do have the freedom because of the free shard generation. But for Demonology or Destruction, I really do think you will not end up using this ability that much. There are a couple things to note. Drain Life on its own does do more DPS than using Shadow Bolt, which means that technically you could use Drain Life during Soul Rot to give you a little bit of a kick to damage, but the damage difference is going to be about 400 to 600 damage difference, with 400 being for Shadow Bolt, 600 being for Drain. Maybe Drain can be used on the AoE for extra burst damage, and it could also be used for AoE if you need healing, like in a really tough situation. But for Demonology Warlocks, it's mostly better to just maintain more soul shards and summon more demons and imps. For Destruction, it's kind of the same thing, but instead of spamming Shadow Bolts and Demon Bolts, you'll spam Incinerates, Immolates, Conflagrates, anything to generate those sweet, sweet soul shards for even more Chaos Bolts. But for Affliction, you do have a talent that makes this playstyle really come together for this massive impactful damage, where it's definitely super fun, but when you take a step back in terms of how it applies to Warlock, you realize it doesn't fully fly. And even as fun as it is for Affliction, I do think a lot of Affliction Warlocks, even if you end up playing Fae, might end up ignoring this playstyle completely. Maybe in AoE Mythic Plus situations where you really need big bursts at a moment, you might end up using this playstyle together, but I think most Warlocks will treat it the same way. You'll use Soul Rot as a damage over time once a minute, every minute. It's just, the Covenant itself does provide a damage over time ability, it does give you decent uptime, you can play other playstyles. I mean, as Affliction, if you really want to lean in on this Drain Life playstyle, you definitely could get quite a bit of value from it. But mostly, primarily in an AoE situation that allows you to multi-drain, where the other specs don't actually get any kind of value, and I don't think for Affliction it would benefit you that much if you were to use it on single target. So in a very, very niche situation, one spec out of the 3 does end up having a slight edge in a very specific field. In my opinion, this ability on its own isn't bad, and if Blizzard just wants to maintain it as a possible Drain Life playstyle, maybe take away the buff that Affliction has so the Warlocks can use this mass AoE drain, not for the damage but rather for the heal, and simply buff the damage with this ability, then I think it could work with some flavor. But there are some other creative ways of working about it. You can still keep the AoE Drain Life for, let's say, Affliction Warlocks, but what if you traded that Drain Life for maybe your next Demon Bolt will hit every enemy affected by Soul Rot, or your Chaos Bolt will hit every enemy by Soul Rot, or your next Unstable Affliction will also affect every enemy afflicted by Soul Rot. I feel like something like that would be a lot more interesting to play into the specs. I'm also surprised that Blizzard didn't decide with this ability, and maybe it's too late right now, but to maybe make it a summon ability. I mean, we already have the Carrying ability that deals with damage over time. Hell, most Warlock abilities deal with some sort of damage over time, but none of them summon an extra, maybe a Drust Demon to fight for your side. I think something like that would have been really cool. Regardless, this is a very fun ability, and I'm hoping that Blizzard does end up balancing out a little bit better, maybe even add something extra creative to make it interesting for other specs. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the Fake Covenant ability for Warlocks, and if that's something you're considering running in the future with the recent nerfs to other abilities. Thank you all, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.